Hello everybody, this is Rock Kaput. My name is Oliver and I'm welcoming you to our traditional Metal Friday, as I like to call it. And today I'm going to dive into the discography of a band that belongs to the most beloved bands in death metal. And yes, I'm talking about Coventry's finest, the mighty Bolt Thrower. But before I dive into their discography, don't forget to give me your thumbs up, hit subscribe, and prepare to leave your comments on my video. Bolt Thrower is a band that's always being described as a machine. They are singing about war. They started off with these cover artworks by Games Workshop featuring those Warhammer graphics, and they kept true to that style. And employed a sound that they perfected really early and then stayed true to it. So they never deviated too far from their path. You could say they knew their place. They were kind of modest almost. So they weren't trying any experiments or trying to become something that they were not. And I think that's what people love about this band. They called it quits when their drummer died under tragical circumstances, but I think they also knew that they didn't have anything more to offer really. And that's not, I don't want to say that they were creatively drained, but there was only so far that they could take their sound, and they had done it on 8 albums. There's not a bad album in their discography, but when you listen to a couple of their albums in a row, it becomes a little bit boring because there's not too much they can do with that sound, but they are great at it. And for one album or for 2 albums, Bolt Thrower are really great. Saw them live once. I was very young. My parents were waiting in front of the venue, and I had to leave early. That was kind of sad, but still remember it. Just a great band, and sad that they are no longer with us. After their final album, they still played live for 10 years, but they stayed true to their promise to not record any albums anymore. And so these 8 are all we have. And let's just dive right in. So I'm going to start with my last place, which is number 8, of course. And to be honest, this is the only album I didn't know when going into this exercise, and it's their debut, In Battle There Is No Law, from 1988. Why didn't I listen to it earlier? I really don't know. Back in the day, I think that I thought that this album doesn't sound like the Bolt Thrower I want to hear. It looks very grindcore, and I thought it's a grindcore album. And I wasn't too interested in grindcore, so I never bothered to listen to it. And when I did for this exercise, I was kind of surprised because it sounds like Bolt Thrower, like early Bolt Thrower, of course. Production isn't that great. Carl Willits sounds, on a couple of tracks, he sounds a little bit weird. But you can clearly hear what's about to come on the next few albums. I would have loved to rank it a little bit higher, because you could say in their discography this is probably more original than a couple of their later albums. But then it's clearly a debut, and so it's my number 8. On number 7, I have their 6th album, 1997's Mercenary. And here for me the cracks are starting to show, because when it came out in 1997, I immediately bought it, loved Bolt Thrower back then, listened to it. It's not a bad album, but it's it's nothing new. We had heard this kind of sound on the albums before, and I would argue they had a little bit more bite and better songs on the albums before. So yeah, this was a kind of a disappointment for me today. My opinion hasn't changed too much. It's a perfectly okay album. There are a couple of good tracks. It has the trademark bowl thrower sound, which only they can pull off. And in the right mood and at high volume, there's nothing to complain about on here. But there are a couple of albums where you can get the same sound, but with a little bit more memorable songs. So yeah, Zeroed, Laid to Waste, To the Last, Powder Burns. These are all fine, but all in all, this album doesn't wow me. Powder Burns, on a side note, is one of the 5 songs that feature the famous kill chain riff. It's a riff that both were used in 5 songs on 5 different albums, and it kind of emphasizes this machine-like quality that they always had, this kind of relentlessness, this unstoppable force that's just going and going and going without mercy. So they weren't really copying themselves. That was a conscious decision to use this riff over and over again. And yeah, works fine for them. But Mercenary, not their finest hour, my number 7. On number 6, I have 2001's Honor, Valor, Pride. It's the only album with Dave Ingram on vocals, better known as the lead singer of Benediction. And I guess many people would rank it lower because of that fact that it isn't Carl Willits who's singing on here, but to me this was a reason to place it higher, because it makes the album stand out a bit. Just by having a different voice, it kind of breaks the flow. But I still think that the songwriting is a bit different on this album too. So Bowl Thrower were always a band that, yeah, they weren't exactly known for being upbeat and writing party tunes or something like that. They were always very somber and downtrodden, dealing with war and the trauma it causes. So all of their albums kind of have a sad note, but you can hear it on that one especially, I think. So I like that about this one. I think it's a good album, and I thought about placing it higher, but in the end, I think Carl Willits is the voice of Bowl Thrower, and I wanted to reflect that in my ranking. Still, I think this is better than Mercenary, and deserves some recognition. So if you wrote this off, give it another chance. I think it's a very good album and a good comeback after Mercenary. On number 5, I have 1994's For Victory. And that was the first time I was a little bit disappointed by Bowl Thrower. Absolutely loved the albums that came before, which to me marked a very clear development. And this one is, to me, stagnation, if not a step down from what came before. So we almost have an exact copy of the album before, which isn't that bad if you're Bowl Thrower and have this amazing sound and writing those amazing riffs. But still, this could have been a little bit more. It starts with the lazy cover artwork, yeah, there's just a little bit of punch missing. I can't really complain about this album because there are cool songs on here. When Glory Beckons, Graven Image, Lest We Forget, Silent Demise, Those are all good bolt thrower songs, but still we have heard the same stuff a little bit better on the album before, I think. So this is my number 5. On number 4, I have their final album from 2005, Those Once Loyal. And this is a return to form. I don't know if you could expect this quality at this point in time when it came out, but here they sound re-energized. I think it has a great production, a little better than on the albums before, and the riffs are there, so they managed to knock this one out of the park. So of course, the Kill Chain has to be one of their greatest tracks. It has the famous Kill Chain riff for the 5th time, and but the other songs aren't worse. Granite Wall, When Cannons Fade. This is a total apocalyptic album, and a very nice closing statement by a very, very important band in death metal, and a band that has no rivals to this day. So we're at the top 3. And my number 3 is their sophomore album, Realm of Chaos. A clear step up from their debut. So you have this cold grindcore sound mixed with death metal, war topics, and of course this amazing cover artwork. Nice gatefold sleeve. Inside there's this cool Games Workshop graphics as well. I've seen a couple of rankings. The funny thing is there's no canon on how to rank bolt thrower, because everyone has his own favorite, and you could argue for different albums in their discography to be number 1. I have seen a couple where this is number 1, and I can understand it. It's a cool album. For this kind of sound, this is clearly their best. They would leave those grindcore influences behind with the next one and opt for a more doomy direction, hardly being faster than mid-tempo. This one has great atmosphere, very nice ambience to it. It draws you in and puts you in this apocalyptic, futuristic place where robot warriors are blasting proton rays at each other or whatever. So great album, but for me it's number 3. On number 2, I have 1991's War Master. Another great gatefold sleeve. And yeah, I guess some people would rank it lower, but to me it has nostalgic value, because this was the album that got me into bolt thrower. I had read about them before. I had seen the Realm of Chaos artwork and was mesmerized by it, but wasn't sure if that's my kind of music. But with this one, where they go more for classic death metal, I was all on board, and this one blew me away back then. I remember listening to it on a small stereo in my grandmother's place, it has a special place in my heart, so I had to rank it this high. Great songs on here: the opener, Unleashed Upon Mankind, the Shreds of Sanity is amazing, and of course Cenotaph, the 3rd song I mentioned, where they are playing the Kill Chain riff. This is just an absolute death metal classic, belongs in every death metal collection, and to me it's clearly one of their best. It has still a little bit of rough edges, so they haven't perfected their sound yet. So you could say it's a transitional album in their discography, but it's good enough for me to rank it on number 2, and it gets that special bonus. So there's only one album left, and I hinted at what it is before. 1992's The 4th Crusade, and this is, to me, Bolt Thrower at their absolute best. The sound is there. They have perfected this sound, this kind of unstoppable rolling tank like quality in their sound, these amazing interplay of guitar riffing and marching drums and rumbling bass, and on this one I think they have the finest songwriting. There are so many amazing riffs and melody on this one. Embers, Icon, Ritual, The 4th Crusade, Where Left to Conquer. The list goes on and on. I loved this album when it came out, made Bolt Thrower one of my favorite bands back then. This was the tour I saw them with Vader and Grave in Essen in Germany in a small club. The first time I dived from the stage. Very special album for me, reminds me of a very special time, and it's Bolt Thrower at their peak for me, and the albums after that aren't worse, but they're definitely not better. They peaked on this one and then just maintained that sound, and they did it better than anyone else. So I'm not mad at them for not experimenting. They had found their niche, and they're instantly recognizable, and it's an amazing sound. You can't argue with that. So if I sounded a bit too critical of them, I love this band. I think it was the right decision that they called it quits after 8 albums, because made everything out of that sound that they could, and I salute them. I hope you liked this ranking. Don't forget to give me your thumbs up, hit the subscription button, and comment away. Tell me about your favorite Bolt Thrower albums, your favorite songs. Did you see them live? Would you have liked to have more of them? Yeah, tell me in the comments, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.